Hello and welcome to Luigi Racing with my with amituning48v, which is my YouTube channel. We're going to be talking about these lowered springs which I bought and fitted. When I fitted them I was not happy. I'll explain the reasons why. These springs on here, the red ones, they are a lowering kit you can buy, 107 quid front and back, and quite frankly this side has exploded, not the spring but the shock. I'll explain the reasons why it's done that, and I've only done 150 miles. Now, as you know, or may not know, very easy to take out via this bolt here, which I use an 11mm. There's several things you can use, but a 11mm ring ratchet will actually fit nicely on there, and then obviously undo the nut. That comes out, and then down on the bottom, even easier. It's already a castle capped nut on the end there, and again 11mm on that. So undo those two, jack it up, take the wheel completely down, and then they'll pull out, and then you'll end up with this. And to dismantle these, a lot of people have asked how do you dismantle them. I have got it in another video, but basically there's a thread at the top here. This unscrews, has been crimped, crimping in there, and they are really tight, but they will undo. And you've then got a sleeve that sits over this, onto this cap, and then onto the spring. Now let's explain something here. That cap part, that sits on the groove down in here. See that bit down the bottom there? So that cap sits on there. So if you want to just take over videoing this while I demonstrate, it's easier. So obviously got the sleeve, and then you put the spring over, dead easy. There's no seating position. That then sits on top of there like so, and then that would technically push down. So in other words, I can push that down, that's as far as it will go, because that actually sits on to the end of this. See that in there? That there. So that goes as far as I can go. So you put that on there. Now when I went to fit this, I thought I had to use clamps on these springs, the other original springs, but I don't on this, because I can literally push down on there and put that on and start twisting. Was not happy, because once that's tight, this still moved around. So I thought we're going to have problems, and sure enough, 150 miles later, the springs are fine, but as you can see over here, this one has exploded. That's what the oil that's coming out of it has actually exploded completely. You can actually see, if you look in there, that actually split and exploded. So the shock absorber has had it. Now, the original ones we demonstrate on this. There we go. It's easy without the spring. You can see that sits down on the end of that ridge. Okay. Original springs, when I put them on, like so, put that on there. It's quite hard to get that down. You can get it down. So in theory, you don't need to put clamps on it, because you can do that, like so, and then twist that. There we go. That's proven you don't actually need spring clips on this. But to get the difference in the height, put those two together, it is literally marginal. And what I'm going to do now is I've got a set of coilovers coming, because to try and get the original shock absorbers is very hard, and ideally you want a set of coilovers. But what you could do to get the lower spring dimension, because the torsion on this spring is nowhere as stiff as this one, but what you could do is you could forget about buying these, use the original springs. This lip that sits on here, get that machined down to whatever, I would say 10, 15, 20mm down, so that drops this down. Then get this end up the top here, the threaded part, whatever the distance you've gone down here, to do the same and get that rethreaded further down, and then cut off that difference. So where you've got that, do that same again, threaded. Then what have you got? You've now achieved having the same original springs on, like so, but obviously more compressed and lower, because this, as you would have guessed, would obviously come down further, and that would come down further. So it's compressing the springs and giving you a much lower ride than this, and puts more pressure on the shock for it to not bottom out, which is what happened and exploded on this one. So very simple. Top tip, I'm going to actually do it with these because I've got the coilovers coming. Top tip is to don't buy them, waste the money, 107 quid. I know you got one on the front, you're going to have a similar problem on the front, which you can do a similar thing, but I'm going to actually get this machine down on the lathe, and then whatever I'm putting on there, I'm going to do the same threaded down there. So say we measure that 20mm, then I'm putting 20mm of thread on there and cutting off what's on there. So that's basically bringing and giving you a lower suspension, and this shock then won't bottom out and explode like it has done on this one. Hopefully that makes sense, because all you are literally doing is replicating what is already there, but you're just bringing it all down, so you are shortening it. That's sort of long. That's not going to go back on this is. So does that make sense? Bring all this down, the whole thing, and obviously you're going to have to cut some of this off because of the depth that's in there. So you're literally got to cut whatever you're taking down with. 20mm down there, 20mm down there, rethread it, dead easy to do, tap and dicer, and then put that in and use original springs. You've then saved yourself a lot of money, because there's your rear springs, which much tighter. You'll get a harder ride though, and you won't blow the shocks like I've done on this one. Right, hopefully that's explained a few things. Please subscribe and follow me, Luigi Racing. That's the name of the car we're doing. I've got a website which is www.amituning48v.co.uk. That's amituning48v.co.uk. It's a website, along with my amituning48v at YouTube. And if anybody wants to get hold of me, you can get hold of me via email, which will be a quicker way, which is amituning48v@gmail.com. Please subscribe and like, because there is a lot going on. There is a business, a website all being developed, and we're then offering whatever you need and want to done to your Amis, like we've done with Luigi Racing. There is an awful lot, and we're doing a lot more. Thanks very much. Take care. Goodbye.